Hello and welcome to the Walk and Love podcast. I'm DJ,
And I'm Brooke.
and today we're going to answer some questions. Hold on, I'm adjusting my mic. We
Mike talk.
we ordered some new desks for ourselves. This is actually desk talk. Get it right, babe.
I'm here for it.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
That's the actual clip. It's so long. You forget how long of a pause he makes.
Long pause.
Long pause. We are getting new desks. I should look at you, I guess.
I mean, if you want.
Eh,
It's a nice feature of marriage, but it doesn't have to
yeah,
happen.
it's an optional feature.
Yeah.
We are getting new desks. We're actually getting 2 more of these desks so that we have basically just a wall of desks. Because right now,
Mega desk.
we are going to make a desk because right now I set this up and then I tear it down to do Friday finds, and that doesn't seem like the most ideal use of my time.
Right.
And so we are going to try to combat that.
Cool.
Because I think most people just listen to the podcast and we spend all this time getting the video and all this stuff, which I'm happy to do and I like doing it. But to me, it should be easier. It should be more seamless. So every time we do this, I'm like, am I doing everything right? Did I hook up all the cords? At least the audio is recording. That's red. That's all I know. And so eventually,
I think you did it all.
I go click, click, click.
click, click,
You got
click.
it.
But yeah, we are still in the chaotic swirl of 2021.
21.
I don't know if you know this.
Me?
You know this,
Okay.
but the listener.
Okay.
We moved this year. We've mentioned it a few times. And then we had a baby.
Yeah.
And then while we had that baby, we bought a house.
Yeah.
And then we had to paint that whole house.
Yep.
And then while painting that house, we had to move into that house.
Yep.
And while painting and moving into that house, we had to launch a collection that basically determines if we can eat for a long period of time. And while doing all that, we've also, so I just I feel the chaotic fuzz and noise and it can only be described with this motion.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I feel sort of like I am a full-time painter.
Walk and Love's just your part-time
And
job.
Walk and Love has now officially entered it's like my part-time side hustle. Yeah, but I'm a full-time painter. But I only have one job and one client, and it's myself.
Yeah.
And so I'm not that easy to work for. And I just feel like my brain is fuzzy and cloudy and
Yep.
and I feel like we've been saying that for about
Feels like way too long. in
way
my
too
opinion.
long. And I think that's just
I think that's life.
I think at times that's just it's definitely the season of newborn life, and Daisy is a saint, so we're not really even feeling it from that as much.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put this on Do Not Disturb, but it's different than mine. Nope. There we go.
Oh, you enabled voice text. Or voice
Monster.
whatever.
Yeah, so I just man.
I feel you though. My brain feels the same way, and I hesitate to say that every week because I'm like,
People are going to think we're a hot mess.
yeah, should have fixed it by now, Brooke.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it.
I text Jeff today and was like, hey, because he's got this great workspace that's super organized. And I texted him, I said, can you send me a photo of your workspace and how it looks? Because I'm getting to that point where I need something different.
Yeah.
And so he does. And it's everything's on a wall and hanging and actually kind of, cool looking. And I text him a photo back of a giant,
like Rubbermaid
moving tub with just that's just full of cords and papers. I said, this is my
maybe our checkbook we've been looking for.
and this is
I don't know.
my current organizational status. So
Not ideal.
not ideal. And
Not
if you
ideal.
are feeling that, we are with you. Yeah. And I know that and it's like a domino effect of things that need to happen. So here's a great example. I was painting
Should we just make that into a soundboard?
Yeah, I was
Sound button
painting.
so that you don't have to say it every time.
Yeah, I don't think there's like this is my life right now. This is how I feel, but I'm gonna change the word.
Stop.
Painting.
Don't stop. We're not done.
And we're not done. So I was painting our bedroom because I felt like if I don't paint the bedroom, it's just gonna be like, oh, we'll do that later. Like we'll get to
Right.
that one.
No
like
one's up there. It's just us.
yeah, you often neglect your bedroom, and then it's a place you spend a lot of time, and you feel like it's not a relaxing kind of calm place.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Plus, oh, let me backtrack. I forgot a domino. We had the cube, our second cube, full of all of our surfaces, which I posted a story of that, and so many people replied, surfaces, which is very exciting. So we loaded that all in the garage. So a domino before that. First, I have to organize the chaos of the trash panda bins in the garage. So I push all those to one side, try to organize them. Brooke starts clearing them out. But Brooke's clearing them out, and then she's like, I don't know where to put this. We don't have any surfaces. Well, I moved them so we could have surfaces. Cube arrives. We move all the surfaces, credenzas.
Well, Cube arrives. We thought they were just going to drop it on our driveway
Yep.
and give us a few days. And instead, the very nice delivery man who
Ben.
delivered us our first cube
Yep.
and had to break
was
the
like, I
lock
can help
off
you
of
unload it. And I was like,
We were like,
I will
we
take
will
that.
take that. We are
You're
not ready
a giant
for
Hawaiian man who is super strong.
Yes.
And looks basically like Maui.
For real.
And so he helped us unload it. So it wasn't like I was super organized with unloading
No,
it.
because we thought we had days to unload.
Yeah. So, but he was super helpful. So I was going to take the help. And then we have been having this conversation about, is our home laid out correctly for our family to thrive?
Right.
Like, are we utilizing all of the space in our house the best it can be so our family can thrive and
In the day to day.
in the day to day? And the answer was no, because we were giving this large space to guests in the name of we're going to have a lot of guests,
We will.
but we're not going to have 365 days of guests.
Right.
We will have that many days of children.
And
They're
some.
here. Yeah, they're here. They're going to stay. So we decided we're going to make the guest room into the girls' room. So well, basically it happened like, man, the story is just forever, but I'm just going with it. I'm just leaning into it because I think there's going to be some lesson at the end for
Yeah.
hopefully for
Okay.
someone.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you saying see the world or sea world?
I don't honestly.
I don't think I'm saying either.
I don't think I've seen the outside world. I've just seen the inside world with paint.
So we're switching the girls' room,
So we're
big
switching
girls' room.
because they were playing in it one day because we had like a mattress on the floor for my mom who was visiting. And I was like, man, there's so much room in here. This is great for them to play in. And then
Yeah.
we started having that conversation and it was like, okay, but that means, hey, if we're going to move all their stuff in here, we should paint this room because
Before.
it was the last room on my list to paint.
Yeah.
So
Skyrocketed to the top.
skyrocketed to the top almost instantly. I had to stop painting the bedroom, which is now half painted.
Yep.
That doesn't give me any anxiety at all. It's fine. It's fine seeing a turd brown wall with just white trim around.
That you edged in the
Yep,
trim.
that I edged in.
Babe, it's fine. No one's coming to stay at our house in 2 weeks.
Except there is. So,
Oh, wait.
yeah.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm fine.
And I really am fine. Like, I'm not a stressed out, like, anxious filled person.
No. you're
Like,
not.
but I do just like, what I'll do is I'll end up thinking about that room needing to be done, and it'll just like distract me from other things I could be thinking about or other things I could be doing. And
I feel
so,
you. The visual clutter is getting to me.
yes,
It's been getting to me, and it's now worse because Maui Ben unloaded a bunch of things we were not prepared for.
I like Maui Ben.
I do too.
Anyway, so we painted the room Friday and Saturday. Brooke got to help. We painted that room.
We
It
did
looks amazing.
In 2 days.
2 days. Looks incredible. I think, well, no, it wasn't the last ceiling I have to paint. But it's almost like the only ceilings I have to paint are bathrooms now.
That is true.
And that like the
The
hallway.
hallway, the staircase.
So most
Wow.
ceiling paint is done, which is great because I painted the ceiling in the bedroom. This is Paint Talk with
This
TJ.
is a deep update, y'all.
Well,
Hope you're here
I
for
just
it.
like, and I think people are here for it.
Yeah.
I think so. Or we're here for it. And I just need to talk these words out of my brain. I need to get these
is
words
brain
out of my
talk.
brain, out of my mouth hole. And so, so we paint the room. I don't know where I was going.
I don't either.
And
It's done. It's ready.
done. And now we need a few things to move in. But it's just like that story. You think about the like windiness of that story is
that your brain? Right
that
now?
is my brain right now.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I am not fully engaged.
Present. That's how I feel.
In all the other things, like even the podcast, I feel like I'm neglecting our great podcast audience because like I literally don't have the capacity to think of an idea to talk about because all I'm thinking about is the like all the different things that need to happen before you're having a wrapping party on Monday, not hip hop gift. And I just like that needs to happen. And so I'm thinking about all of it. And I just feel like, one, I'm sorry if we feel chaotic, but one of the things Brooke and I try to be on the internet is exactly who we are.
Yeah.
And that is who we are right now.
Yep.
We are, and it's not like oh, my life's such a mess. I'm chaotic like all the time and I'm not going to do anything to change it. But let me anyways. Like, it's not like that. It's just like,
look how real I am.
Yeah. Because that really bothers me because life is actually going really well right now.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man.
We have a big task we're working on right now, project.
Yes. And I just like, I'm so looking, and I'm, Jeremy Gandalf Pryor was on Maui visiting Jeff. They were doing some videos and I got to have lunch with him. And I was kind of explaining what was going on. And the first question he asked me is like, when do you think you'll get back into your rhythm? And it wasn't like a judgment question or anything like that. Like Jeremy is so calm and like just easy to talk to. And I was just like, honestly, I feel like it will be when we get back from visiting Pennsylvania, back on Maui on January 10th.
Yeah.
And I think that again, like that lesson that I'm learning of just like, it's okay to feel sort of this like, until but knowing that has a date, an ending date. And I guess what I'm feeling is like, man, I thought that ending date was like right after the Christmas collection was done. But it ended up being longer than I thought, and so like
it's maybe more house related than you thought.
It's more. It's encompassing more of all of our lives than I just thought. Like, oh, collection, because that's so much of how my brain works is like collection, and then I'm like, oh, and then life will be smooth, and and it's just like, so I'm feeling that, which is like just challenging to me, but it's good. I think it's like just some good stretching. Of just like, man, this is, and I made the joke on the story, but I really do believe it. Like when we are in these like sort of mundane domino, like moose muffin, give a mouse a cookie type tasks.
Yeah.
I do think that there are lots of little opportunities in there to consider it all joy. Like I just truly believe that if we can consider it all joy when we go from organizing the garage to not organizing the garage to organizing the house to unorganizing the house to painting to moving to like all this stuff, and we can just
we got to put the kids to bed,
and we can still love our kids well and love our spouse well and not snap at anyone or not just like shut down and disengage. Like I do believe that like that is honoring to God and that is like a good representation of what it looks like to follow Jesus, because like that's what I've been focusing on. Like, this is an opportunity. This paint shift, really, it was like, oh, you're painting that room now. We're going to paint this room. Like, to me, like, there's also like a little bit of like, oh, but I'm almost finished. So now I'm not going to finish. Yeah. And now I'm starting over. And it's like, that is so much of life. And so like, if I can model to the girls and maybe they notice some of it and not all of it, but
I think they can feel it.
But if I can model to them that like, yeah, sometimes life feels like this, but dad is still happy and joyful and dad is still engaged with you when he can.
Yeah.
And dad is still explaining how life is like this sometimes. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of beauty there and so that's where I just feel like we are, at least where I am in this, like, you know, I think give a moose a muffin or give a mouse a cookie? Which one is more well known?
Probably. I mean, I think the original was the mouse cookie.
Okay.
But your family uses the term moose muffining.
Yeah.
Meaning the same thing.
So that's where I feel like I'm going to give a mouse a cookie season.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But I'm ready for it to end. And I see the end in sight.
Yeah.
And honestly, I do feel like going back to Pennsylvania will like kind of be a little bit of an ending for it. I mean, traveling with a family and staying with other people, that has its own other like vast amount of emotions that go with it. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, and just like we're almost done painting because I'm not going to paint the bathrooms for a while. I'm going to take a little bit of hiatus from my full-time job, going on sabbatical from being a painter, and I'm going to enjoy my side hustle.
Yeah.
Walk in love.
Right. This podcast.
Yeah.
Good.
That was
I'm
a lot of
excited for
TJ
that.
talking.
Yeah.
I also feel like when we got to go to the Bethkes with the Pryors there, and they asked me like a lot about they have a son who's a 7, and they were just asking me questions about like, how does your brain work? And Jeremy said, and I quote, TJ's the healthiest 7 I know. So that's going
Not a big
on my tombstone.
I like it.
Also, spoiler alert, he's dead.
Yes.
Double.
That's for sure going on mine.
So I just like, I feel like part of that sort of personality is like, I just need to sometimes dump it all out and talk it all out without really any reason other than just to like
Not have it in your brain.
not have it in my brain.
Yeah.
And so that's what I just feel like I just did.
Yeah.
And you're
Wait,
here for it.
don't ask me if I have anything to add because I don't. I have nothing to add to that.
Okay, so Paint Talk Silver, new
Yep.
segment. Song of the week. Do you
Yep.
have one?
Maybe.
Okay, I've got a Christmas one.
Oh gosh.
So I played this for Brooke earlier today, and I said,
Well, you did warn me
I
that
said,
you said you're gonna cry.
I'm going to play this on the podcast. You will probably cry, so I want you to listen to it now.
Right.
So should I do my Christmas one first, or the reason I found the Christmas one first?
Just do the
You want to save the other one?
yeah.
No?
Is that the one we're talking about?
Yeah.
The other one?
Yeah.
Save that.
Okay. I'm going to save my song of the week for another time because we might actually
Use it as an
dive
episode.
into the song. So this song is by Christina Nicole.
Nickel.
I don't know. Nichol.
Maybe there's no H in like Nicole, the name. It's just
Yeah.
a C.
I don't know.
So that's
I've
why I
heard it
think
both
it's
ways.
Nichols.
Anyway, she has a Christmas song because As Long as I Have You, featuring Bryce Nickel, which I'm guessing,
Is a child.
or her husband.
But it
Yeah.
is it
Anyways, it's a good Christmas song. I'm going to add to the Christmas playlist, but it's like really, really
verse
sweet.
2. So
Yeah,
you
we
gotta go
probably
listen. We
won't-
can't listen that long today,
Uh,
but
Remember all the Christmases before, fireside and lying on the floor, watching movies, nowhere else to go, just you and me and nothing more. As long as I have you, as long as I have you, as long as I have you. I don't need a present, you're the only gift I need.
so good.
And then she goes into singing about family and stuff, and you're just like, I want to weep. Brooke says, a Christmas song.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Is it on the playlist
No,
already?
it's not.
Well, it should be. And it's gonna be.
And it's going to be. Anything to say about
No,
it?
just this will make you want to wiggle around.
Wow.
Candles glow, so happy that I can see you again. Wonderful time with my family and friends. Ain't nothing better than this, yeah. For all we know, this time may not come around again. And that's why I never wanted to end. It's such a beautiful bliss. Oh, happy feelings everywhere. We're dancing in the Christmas cheer. The kids are waiting in their beds for Santa. Oh, Santa, I don't have a
Not even the chorus yet,
I know.
but that's okay.
Leslie Odom Jr.
Yes.
Snow.
We're good.
The text message alert is not part of the song. That's the Walk in Love remix. Yeah. And then do you have any strong feelings?
My strong feelings are.
Oh, I don't know these.
Well, you asked me to be ready, so I was ready for this one segment, and then we need to be done. This is as far as I've prepared. 20 minutes in, and we're done. My strong feelings are that I have so much more appreciation for the traditions of Christmas adding another kid this year. I mean, and she's oblivious. Like,
right.
she's a baby and has no idea what's going on. But
I mean,
like,
she's really advanced, but whatever.
yeah, she's incredible. She can read. But just like knowing that next year at Christmas,
Yeah.
she'll be a little over a year, and just thinking about like crazy. It's just crazy how kids make you see life differently.
Weep into your dippy eggs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Those are good. Those are strong feelings.
What
They're
about you?
strong. I don't have any. I do. I actually forgot to say this at the beginning. The sample sale isn't happening. The warehouse sale.
It's going
It's
to happen.
not happening right now. So if you're like, where is it? You said it was going to be up on Monday or Sunday. We have like 300 orders left to ship from the Christmas collection.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure those get out the door before we have a
Start adding more.
online warehouse sale.
Yeah.
And so those of you who haven't been shipped to, maybe it's just the Lord giving you opportunity to consider it all joy. And also, I'm very sorry. We are doing all that we can. Again, it's like, how do I explain this? It's like,
Okay, can we title this episode TJ's Brain?
yeah, TJ's brain,
TJ's Brain Talk.
brain talk with TJ. You keep thinking like, oh, COVID's not going to affect anything else anymore. And then
Right.
it does.
Isn't it done? Right.
Yeah, that's kind of how you feel. And then you're like, no, here is an effect. And then also our fulfillment center changed the system that they run the fulfillment center on and all their stuff to a better system. But it
With
is
any system change.
with any system change, it's just bringing up all these like confusing errors. Like at one point, they started shipping out old spring orders, so people got their items again, and it was like,
yeah,
that wasn't supposed to happen. Whoopsies. And so it's just like these are just like growing pains of their growing company along with our growing company.
Yeah.
So they're good problems to have, but man, if you're frustrated about not getting your stuff right away, multiply it by 300 because
Okay.
that's how many orders need to go out right now. And that's where you find my frustration. And so I just, again, am so thankful and grateful for our customers who are so patient and so kind and know that we are doing everything we can to make this better.
Yeah.
Like, and 2 of the collections this year went out super smoothly, and then 2 of them were a little bit rougher, but
Yeah.
they're all going out and everybody's always getting their orders. So at least as long as FedEx or UPS is,
Right.
which we have no control. Why?
Where is the dinging coming from?
Oh, it's that computer because that's where this is from.
Okay.
You got it?
Nope.
Nope. Yep.
I still don't remember how.
Here we go.
What are we doing?
I really don't know how.
It's right there at the top. Do not disturb. There you go. We did it. Amazing.
Did you have actual growing pains as a kid?
I don't remember.
I remember.
I remember during wrestling season laying in bed with hunger pains.
That's different.
Good times though. Great times. Yeah. So the online warehouse sale, which will be selling anything that we have left from this year, will happen at some point this week. I'm guessing it'll probably be like Tuesday or Wednesday, but whatever day it is, shop.walkinlove.com, you can go there first.
Yeah.
And whenever I make it live, I will start a 24-hour clock until I
You
tell
announce
people.
it. Yeah.
So the podcast audience has
A
20
chance to check first.
24 hours until it goes to everybody on Instagram and the text and stuff like that. So it's not out, but it will be. That was a long way to the well there.
Yep.
For me. Anyway, speaking about wells, I'm just kidding. So Brooke, how was your week?
It was good. We did something.
We did a lot.
What did we do all
We
week?
painted. Let's work backwards.
Okay, that helps.
We painted these past 2 days.
Yep. What's today?
Today's Sunday.
Today for us is Sunday.
Yes.
We painted Saturday and Friday.
Thursday night, we went to the Bethkes and hung out with them and the Priors.
Thursday afternoon,
birthday party.
June and Sunny went to a birthday party.
And before that, I have no memory.
The Cuba ride that morning.
That morning, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a good week. We are definitely like gearing up for Christmas. Brooke has a gift wrapping party tomorrow night, which will be super fun. Got a bunch of friends coming over for that. And then we're going to do our family Christmas.
Maui Christmas.
Which we're calling Maui Christmas. This Friday will be Christmas, or Maui Christmas Eve. Saturday will be Maui Christmas morning. And then we leave the next week to go back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It all feels like it's just like happening so fast.
Yeah.
And because of the chaos of the house, I feel like it's even making it feel like, is this really happening? Are we this close to Christmas? What is like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
I have not been still very much.
Yeah.
Which I try to be, especially during this season.
Yeah. So
But no.
So that's kind of what's going on. We decided today we were just going to answer questions because I don't know if you remember the first 18 minutes of TJ Brain Talk, but that's kind of where we are. Brooke, I'm actually going to let you pick the questions because I feel like maybe I can answer on the spot a little bit easier than you. And then if you read at least once, you kind of have it in front of you.
Okay.
But before
I got to read some of these first.
Yeah, you read.
Give me a second.
Couple things that are going on. Episode 3 of Friday Finds came out. So if you have not watched Friday Finds, it's available only on YouTube, and there's 3 episodes, and they're kind of like, they're not time oriented. So it's not like, oh, I need to watch, like you can just watch any of them at any time. Friday Finds, 3 episodes up. If you enjoy the podcast vibe, I think you'll enjoy the Friday Finds vibe. It's currently right now, it's my favorite thing that we're doing. And it's something that I've always wanted to do with you. Like make more like just fun video content that like, I don't know, is just fun to make and fun to edit and, you know, makes people smile. Like that's kind of, I love doing stuff like that. So I like am really pumped up about it and I want to keep it going. And so that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Anyway,
Okay. We're starting out kind of heavy.
Oh, no boy. Here we go.
What is your least favorite taco topping?
Oh man.
Any form of tomatoes. That'd be my guess for you.
Yeah. I think tomatoes make everything too slimy.
Right.
Like, so yeah, I guess.
You would never just put like fresh tomatoes on your taco.
I would, but not very
You'd hate
many.
it.
I would hate every minute of it. It would be like, oh,
I feel very
tacos.
blessed.
No. Right.
Squishy tomatoes.
Mine, maybe anything that makes it way too spicy.
Okay, I like the spice.
Yeah.
I like the spice.
What's the James in Daisy's name? Who is she named after?
So my name is Theodore James, so after her dad.
Wow,
Boom.
quick question. I got to read
Yeah.
faster.
There's some pressure being in that position, isn't there?
The reading of the questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate me. Appreciate me.
Okay, what would your 5-year ago self,
Okay.
so when you were 31 and when I was 30,
Yep.
think of where you are today?
I would think it, impossible.
Because 5 years, we hadn't even had Sunny yet.
Yes.
So that's crazy to me.
Yeah, like every part of it, I would think, no way. Like, well, actually, that's not true. I would believe that we'd have more kids.
Yes.
I would believe that we would be healthy and happily married. But I would never believe that we'd live here. And then I would never believe that the decisions we made for our businesses, because we were still shooting weddings, right? No, I guess not. The decisions we made for our business would have made them more profitable.
Right.
Like if someone's like, okay, you're going to do less and you're going to make more and it's going to be great.
Right.
I'd have been like, that's impossible.
I'm like, yeah, okay. Get out of
So,
here.
yeah, like, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Which just like, again, feels to me like, wow. I'm speechless. I'm speechless at just like what God can do if you give him just the tiniest bit of obedience.
Yeah.
Because like the stopping of walk in love, that was just like, we're just going to be obedient. We have no idea what's happening. But we're just going to walk through these doors as they open and see where it goes. And then same with Maui is just like, we don't know what, why or how, or, you know, with what purpose.
Yeah.
And still sort of feel that, but like, we're just going to keep going.
Yep.
And actually just the other day, yesterday painting, I was painting. Let me start this story by painting the picture for you. It was me painting a wall. I had someone pop into my head for this group I'm a part of, and I don't even really know this person very well. But I'm not going to get into the details other than just like, I felt the Lord kind of just lay him on my heart. And so I took some steps of faith today. And again, I don't know what this person's going to say to my idea or to my question, but I just honestly feel like if you ever in that position where you're just like, man, the Lord is just like pushing me. And then I asked Brooke, I was like, I just want to like throw this idea out for you. And she's like, oh, wow, that makes me want to cry. And to me, that's like confirmation that there's something there, like that the Lord is moving. And
children are running in my heart.
Yes.
And I'm crying.
Yes. Or you're just running and crying.
Crying for a different reason.
And I just like, I would encourage everyone that like that, like, don't ignore those small inklings.
Inkling-a-lings.
Yeah. Don't ignore those either, because that could lead to something serious. I need an operation.
Too far!
I just like, because like even just with this story that I'm giving very vague details on, like I have no idea what's going to happen there, but like the Lord could do it and could just do something and magnify, like, and just like make this huge impact.
Yeah.
Because while I was painting, I felt like there was something happening and I just followed through. Like, you know, and I feel like that's just so much of life. It's just like, you feel like the Lord is pressing something on you, just follow through.
Yeah.
And you might think like, oh, I followed through and like nothing happened, but you have no idea the ripple effect of following through and just like what that might lead to. Yeah.
What's the most exciting thing that's happened to you in the last 30 days?
Oh, that's a
Wink.
good question.
Wink, wink.
That is the
That's your
question I
question.
ask groups when there's that first silent lull and you're in like a new group of people.
Yeah.
Or even a group of friends and you just feel like, oh, we're going to talk about COVID again? Cool. Just shifts the atmosphere a little bit. For me, it would, 30 days. What's the date today? December 12th. So I can't say the Christmas collection. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Oh, right.
That already ended. Probably the live stream. Like,
Yeah.
just doing that.
That was really fun.
And just like that, it's becoming part of our yearly rhythm, like that. And just the feedback from that, and just like that people enjoy it so much, and that we've like added to it, and like the call-ins, like that was cool. And I just like, it just gets more ideas percolating. And so that was probably it. That, and then just coupled with like, our girls are playing outside in December.
Yeah.
And we didn't have, and it's not for 8 minutes until they're too cold, or it's not bundled up, and like it's just, they're just outside playing, and we've never experienced that.
Right.
And so like every time that happens, I'm just like, man, that is so cool.
It is.
So
It really is.
what about you? You're not answering any of these.
Mine might be well, I'm not going to use the same as you. So I think mine might be the cube arriving.
Yes.
It added way more chaos to our house, but we now have the things we need
To like feel
to
fully.
make the house not chaotic.
Yes.
We just have to do it in the right order.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. What is your favorite in-home date night snack?
Probably sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sushi.
Which we haven't really found a
popcorn.
sushi place
Not
on
together.
Maui yet. Yeah, don't eat sushi popcorn. It's disgusting.
Blech.
But yeah, probably sushi, or just like, big bowl of Brooks homemade popcorn.
Poppity
Poppity pop.
pop.
Popcorn.
Popcorn.
Poppity pop.
How do y'all choose your books? What are you currently reading?
I am currently reading nothing.
Right.
So that's because that's where my brain is. And there would have been a season in life where I would have just like made up an answer in the name of like, I don't want to feel like people are going to judge me because I don't read a book.
Right.
but that's the reality. I'm reading the Bible for my quiet time, and that's about it.
Yeah.
and then I'm reading how, like, different instructions on how to set up a paint sprayer, how to clean a paint sprayer, stuff like that. Just like casual, informational reading.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's good. Everyone likes it.
But I'd say both you and I choose our books almost solely off of recommendations.
Yes, 100%.
And especially when it's someone that we hope to maybe model part of our life or
Yeah.
our walk with Jesus or our marriage or anybody that we look up to
Yep.
or has a similar personality or anything like that.
Yep.
If they're like, oh, this was great for me,
Yeah, we buy a lot of books.
I instantly add it
Yeah,
to the Amazon cart. And I don't necessarily read it the moment it shows
Yeah.
up, but if I feel like, oh, I should read that,
yeah.
I
Like
just
there's
get it, and I have it sitting for when I'm ready for it.
Yeah, like I'm in this business group called Integrated. It's not really even a business group. It's more of like a life group, but not like a church life group. It's more like
Oh my gosh.
And anytime someone recommends a book in that group, it's a pretty
Yeah.
strong recommendation.
Yeah.
Also, we listen to the Dadville podcast occasionally with Dave Barnes and John McLaughlin. And whenever they have a guest on that really is inspiring,
Resonates. Yeah.
they usually have a book that they've written.
Yeah.
And so we usually go for that book too.
Yeah.
What about you? Brooke's been like a reading machine lately.
Yeah. It's because I'm sitting down 6 to 8 times a day to nurse a
Yep.
baby. And I was like, hey, maybe don't spend that time on your phone feeling weird. Maybe read something for your brain.
You want weird? I'll give you weird. Weird, weird, weird.
And so you're currently reading Get Out of Your Head by Jenny Allen.
Yep. Almost done with that.
And then right before that, you read Take Back Your Family by Jefferson Bethke.
Yep.
And then before that,
At your best.
At Your Best by Carrie Naho.
How do the girls like homeschooling? They really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think they do.
I don't know if they have much of a, like, June had 1 year of kindergarten. So
and
it's
even
like,
then, it was like kind of a weird
yeah.
COVID year.
So like, I don't know if she even like has anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
We are like at the stage of homeschool right now where it's like, we just need to do bare bones homeschool.
Yep.
Because that's where we are. But they're such great kids. I mean, I know everybody says it about their kids, but man, I feel like extra love waves for them lately.
Yeah.
Especially in the way that they've been playing together. Like, if there is one obvious benefit of moving here, it is that they went from
extremely
sisters to friends.
Yeah.
You know. So, and it's just like, make me weep in my dippy eggs. We eat a lot of dippy
Classic
eggs.
dippy egg weep. How many bags a week of sour bites is too much? Does a limit exist?
Yeah, I would say try to stick to 1 or 1 to 3, 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 7 to 8. Just one.
Just one.
Just do 1 a week.
Just do one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't eat them.
This is like, we've had like so many Brooke brain episodes lately. I feel like the
I'm just
tables
leaning
have
into it.
turned, and TJ's on the clock. At least listen to episode yet.
Although the sun keeps shining and not shining, so this video is like really bright, really dark, really bright, really dark. Delightful. Christmas movies you watch every year.
Elf.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
And Arthur Christmas. Probably just those two. And the Grinch, like the new animated Grinch, because the kids. But that's probably it.
Every year, yeah.
Every year. I mean, there are other ones that I really like.
I'm adding Noel to that list.
Okay,
but
yeah.
it's new.
Yep.
So I've only seen it for 2 years.
But yeah.
It's really good.
I think so. I am a sucker for movies. And I'm a sucker for like any movie, it doesn't matter how good or bad it is, where someone is realizing and stepping in who they were created to be.
Yeah.
And even if it's totally fictitious and a made up story in a made up world, if someone is doing that in a movie or in real life, I'm doing a dippy egg weep.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's what Noelle is.
It's so good.
Anyways.
And I think she's funny. What did you ask for Christmas?
Nothing.
Yeah. Somebody also asked, did we do our stocking tradition? Nope, because we bought each other a house this year. So.
And because you still have to wear a mask every shop in Maui, and it's just not as much fun.
No. I actually did get 3 things for your stocking today.
Nice. You have one thing at the bottom of your stocking, and I don't know if I'll get more.
No, you really don't need to.
Yeah,
What are you going to stick in there that I actually need?
back rub coupons.
Which way? Am I getting the back rub, or do I have to give them to you? Coupons, you're allowed to rub my feet 4 times this year. That'd be terrible.
Anyways, yeah, we didn't do the stocking thing this year, but it is a good one. If you're new here, the tradition is we probably did this like 7 years in a row, where Brooke and I would go into the same store at the same time and shop for each other's stockings, and like this weird sort of like try not to get caught, but also see each other. And then when we did it with the kids the first time, it added a lot of fun. But then COVID made shopping weird, and like people stopped having fun anywhere, and so we felt very odd being this like I don't know. So we're pushing pause on it.
Yeah.
But it'll return at some point. I'm confident of this. I'm confident of this, that I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living.
Wow. Okay. This is funny.
Wow.
Was Sunny athletic as a baby? And if so, how did you handle her emotions, keep your own in check, struggling with a very opinionated drama queen 7-month-old?
Yeah, Sunny's been athletic from day one.
Yeah.
In fact, when she first came out, she was making so much noise. Never forget it. The doctor said,
what? I don't remember his exact words.
He's like, "Oh, good morning."
And then the nurses were like, "Wow, she's loud."
Yes, and she's still loud. And
well, she can actually be very shy and quiet.
Yes.
In some scenarios, but
she,
maybe not loud.
She burns bright.
She's athletic.
She's very athletic. And actually, we were at a dinner with friends here. It was like a, hey, come over, you're new, have dinner with us. And we were talking about our kids with them, and I was like, Junie is like very calm and artistic and like creative and like can just like go off into her own world. Yeah. Which is sometimes frustrating when you're like, hey,
Earth to
reality, take a bite of those eggs. We're talking a lot of egg talk today. And I was like, and Sunny's like just very passionate. She burns bright. And this person,
we were saying it kind of like, whoa,
yeah. And she's like, and this person said, the world needs passionate people. And so that phrase has given me so much grace towards and perspective towards Sunny. In an era of dragons, you want to raise dragon slayers, and Sunny will slay lots of dragons. And so I just feel like there is a lot of grace to be given to the passionate kids in your world, the passionate kids that God has given you. Yeah. Because at some point, if you cultivate that passion and you direct that passion and you shield that passion and you give that passion the fire of the Lord, yeah, there is so much good that can happen from it. And so that is like really changed my perspective on how I view and see Sunny. Yeah.
Because she was that way as a baby. I wouldn't say she was. I mean, I think this person put it in quotes, a drama queen. Like, right. I try not to.
And we try not to use language like that.
I try not to use language about that when I'm speaking about them or even talking to them, because I just think that can sometimes do damage. Probably not to a 7-month-old, but you know.
But if you call her a drama queen her whole life, eventually she's going to be like, oh, that's who I am. Like,
that's who I am.
I'm going to identify that way.
My behavior is justifiable.
Yes. Yeah. And we all have people like that in our lives where they're like, like the person that's like, oh, I'm always late. That's just the way I am. You're just like, well, I mean, there are other people here who have feelings and emotions that you are affecting by being late. So maybe you should think about them instead of just about yourself.
Oh, there's your strong
There's my strong feeling.
Apparently.
Wow. There's some baggage there, I think. Some refinement from the Lord needed.
But yeah, she was like that as a kid and
still is at times. But yeah.
How did I handle it emotionally?
We were in a rough place that year. We just got our Christmas ornaments out. And every year we give each other a Christmas ornament. And every year we bring them out, we get super emotional. Like, this is the journey we've been on. Yeah. We bought each other the same ornament in 2018 when Sunny was born that said, best year ever. And
with an exclamation point.
And it's like, and on the back, it's like 2018. And it's kind of sparkly. And it's like so unlike anything we would buy each other. Right. But the joke became that 2018 was such a hard year for us.
Terrible.
That like the only thing we could do was laugh. Yeah. But so so I don't know how you handled it. Very
I mean, I handled it as best I
Yes.
could. I do think that when Sunny was very little, like more like Daisy's age now, like I've mentioned this before in their birth stories and stuff, like I had to cut dairy when nursing. She was a very sensitive kid
Yep.
food-wise, which made her very angry until I figured that out.
Yep.
I also am now realizing that I think she was probably hungry a lot
Yep.
of times. That was my first time nursing because I didn't nurse June because of other things. So
I mean, you did for
I tried.
Yeah.
It was a whole other thing. But so like there was some of that, like some of her loudness and drama, if you will,
just like,
was that
I'm hungry.
was her trying to tell me something. But
Yeah.
I,
What's fascinating about 2018 best year ever is that it has become this like this jumping board off into like
everything we are now.
yeah,
or where,
absolutely.
Or where we are
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Like it just really, I forget. Let me actually look it up. You talk, babe.
Oh.
No, wait,
Okay.
I have the verse.
Yeah. Don't lose
There's this great like animated video series of Psalm 23.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you're right.
The people who animate all those are different.
Different people, not the Bible Project. Anyways, he talks about how like after you go through the valley, the tense of the scripture changes. It goes from like God or like the third person to the second person. I might be butchering this, but like after you walk through the valley, the tense of who you're walking with changes, and it's like you comfort me, you guide me.
Right.
And I think that is so true.
It becomes personal.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think like that's what hard years do for us, and that's what hard seasons do for us. As long as we are clay, and allow ourselves to,
Yeah.
by grace allow that change to happen. But that is really what 2018. And so if you find yourself in a season of just like, man, I am so exhausted and frustrated and drowning, or whatever the phrase that you might be using is, like this might be the jumping off point to like dive deeper into who God has created you to be. And who knows, like just there's so much potential there as long as we, take advantage of it or actually lean into what he's, I don't know, the refinement or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
I don't know
What are we doing?
I don't know. Okay, 2 more. And then we can be done. Actually, 3 more, because this one isn't a question. No question, but you guys are awesome, and thank you, Brooke, for sharing hard stuff. Really.
Oh,
Oof.
way to go, babe.
You're welcome.
Way to go. You did it. Or it's
If y'all
Beth.
want to start buying me
La la
deodorant,
la 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 ka-ching.
because I'm sweat while I have to talk about hard things.
Sorry, I think.
You know, I said if y'all want to start paying for my deodorant, I wouldn't mind. Beautycounter.com // Brooke Messines.
Wow. Brooke with the promotion. Look out. Jeez, calm down, babe.
We get it. You sell stuff. Okay. Favorite new things you've learned about each other since,
TJspainting.com.
since living on Maui. We changed Welcome's URL to be TJSideHustle.com. I thought this used to be Welcome Up's website.
Oh, that's a good question. I've learned like Brooke is, I'm going to try to say this as vaguely as possible.
Oh boy.
Brooke
Brooke
is
loves vague.
Brooke is willing and able to put in the work to become a healthy person. Not that you aren't healthy now, or not that you weren't healthy before Maui or anything like that.
Right.
But for you, it's not a like once and done type of thing. I can see it in your heart and your soul that you want to continue to be refined and better yourself so that the Lord can get the most out of you.
Yeah.
And I feel like Maui has been like 6 months of that.
Right.
Of just like, there has been so much personal, emotional, spiritual growth in you that, yeah, I'm just like impressed by. So that's mine.
I think mine is that I would have thought, it has nothing to do with painting, don't worry. Is that I never thought
TJ has
my
become
husband
a
would become
great
a professional painter. But here we are. 2021. Is that bear with me as I try to get there, is that I would have thought this, and this is positive, I would have thought you were already at 100%. Like, I kind of know all about you. I've seen all your excitement and all of your, like, I've seen 100%. And I feel like being here has taken you to like 110%. Like, you are more you here. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
You are more joyful. You are more excited. Where are your eggs? Cry. I just like, maybe I don't even have words. If you were here, I feel like Maui has allowed you to be like,
Well,
and I should have faced that towards the video. Sorry, everybody.
cool.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
it's just, it's more in the best way. Not like, oh, there's more.
Monster.
Yeah. Keep eating those sour dogs as fast as you do, and there will be more of you. Okay, was that question 1 or 2? I don't remember. How do you continue to date your spouse when things are so busy? Start a podcast. This is it.
The podcast really helps. I
don't want to answer that one, but people ask that all the time.
Right.
But it's because I don't have a very great answer.
I don't love that terminology.
A lot of people do, though, and a lot of people really resonate with it. So what is your version of that language then?
I don't like...
Because I think date is the how are you intentional with your spouse?
Well, see, here's the thing, is I don't feel like it's that. I feel like it's like, do you have a date night? And it's like, you could go on a date every week with your spouse and be in a totally lifeless marriage.
Yeah.
And so for me, the question isn't like, how do I do that better? Because we could go to the movies everywhere, or we go out to dinner every week, and we could have no sort of like emotional, spiritual, physical connection.
Yeah.
And so to me, that question, like there's a chair behind that question. And the chair behind that question is like, how do I remain intimate with my spouse on all the levels?
Yeah.
And to me, it might not be a date night. Like you and I don't have a date night. We've really never had a date night.
Right.
And our marriage has grown and become deeper and more without that. And so
if I'm honest, like if I was to be like, oh man, I'd really love a date night now, what I'm actually saying is I would like for you and I to leave the house with less children attached to us to eat good food.
Yeah.
But it is not so much like this
like thing that we need and for
in order to stay connected.
Yeah, because
I just want fries with no kids near me.
Yeah, I want my whole basket of fries, and I'm not sharing. And I want to feel okay with that.
You get your own, I'll get my own. It's going to be amazing. That is what I want when I say, can we have a date night?
But I would say like the best way to date your spouse is like, you need to understand, like, and again, we've shared this advice so much. Our friend Josh, who's a therapist, talks about having an emotional check-in every day. What was the strongest emotion? Positive emotion was the strongest negative emotion
you felt during the day.
And to me, those two questions at the end of the day,
do that for a month.
For a month are worth
and come back and tell me
50 date nights.
Yeah.
Like, because now we're on the same page. I'm understanding who you are, where you are, what's going on in your heart and your head. And I am able to then hopefully adjust and love you like the way that you need it in these moments, in these positive and negative emotions that you're sharing with me. And so to me, like, I've always struggled with that because I'm like, well, we don't really do date night. Like, but we hang, like, we're with each other all the time, and we have.
So what about people who don't work together and who aren't actually with each other all day?
Okay. I would say that yes.
Well, that asking those two questions every day is going to be even more important.
Yeah, that's where I just seem to land. Like, there are so many emotional ways that we aren't connected to people in our lives, because it wasn't taught to us, you know? Yeah. And so, like, we've been taught the task of date night is important. Well, why is it important? It's important as long as you're having emotionally deep, rich conversations every week. But if you're not doing that, it becomes less important. And so for me, I'm always like, how, you know, and this is why the podcast continues to go on, is because this is an emotionally an emotional check-in every week for us.
Yeah.
And it is so valuable and so rich and so deep for us that like this can, like, we have a babysitter right now at our house so that we can do this.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth all of the things that we do to do this. It's worth setting up and tearing down. Like, it's worth all of it. And so to me, it's like, make those moments happen. And if that happens at a restaurant every week, that's great. Like, I'm not saying don't go out together.
Right.
But to me, it's like there's so much, there's something deeper to that question. And there's more layers that can be achieved than just like, let's go to the movies together or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why, like,
Let's go to the mall, everybody.
yeah. But yeah, that would, like, I think a great idea is like, let's say you have a weekly date night every week, but you
Sure.
feel still disconnected from your spouse.
Yeah.
I would maybe get rid of that date night and then just do those emotional check-ins every day for a month and compare them.
Yeah.
Do a test and measure. Like,
Yeah.
okay, in January and in November, we did 5 date nights. In December, we emotionally checked in 30 times. Which month was better? Which
Right.
month did we feel more loved and cared for and seen? And honestly, like, I think sometimes, and this is maybe just from the guy's perspective, like, if you gave your husband one night a week to just like play or watch TV or watch football or whatever, I think he'd be more apt to do those emotionally charged conversations because he feels more loved and seen. And I think that's what Brooke does so well, is like, she allows me to play. Like, I literally play video games. And I feel like what it does to me is like making me feel seen and loved in the way that I want to be seen and loved.
Right.
And so then when she needs to be seen and loved with these emotional conversations, which aren't necessarily my strong suit, I'm all in on them.
Right.
Because
I would say that's not so much a guy thing, that's your personality.
Sure. But I also think it's kind of a guy thing.
So then what's the opposite? So if you get to do that one night a week, what do I get to do?
I think in a season of motherhood, a thing for women is time alone.
Yeah.
Just period. However they can take it, however
Right.
they can have it, whether even if it's grocery shopping or if it's just driving to run errands or whatever.
Right.
And it's almost like you got to force that on you. Like, I have to tell you, take this time, go do, I don't care, just go.
Yeah.
Go eat fries without kids. Like, again, I'm not, I just want to make sure people don't think I'm like poo-pooing date night
Right.
or anything like that. But I do think that there's a deeper intimacy to be had than a
Yes.
weekly date night.
Yeah.
Did anything I said make sense?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Is my brain working?
I don't know. Do we press record?
Yes, we did.
Gosh, I
Oh
hope so.
man. Don't scare me like that.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Whew.
It's not a funny joke.
Too far.
Yep.
That was the last
That was
question.
good. I agree. I do think I think a lot of times when it is asked, it's asked as like well, things aren't great. And I don't know. I'm not speaking this on the person who asked this question,
Right. Not projecting at all.
but like maybe that would fix it. It's almost like date night is a Band-Aid for the marriage. Like, oh, let's prioritize that.
Yeah.
When there's probably a lot of other things that are way harder.
Yeah.
100%. Way harder
And there is
than getting in a car,
Yep.
putting on music, not talking, going to a restaurant, ordering, kind of talking,
Yeah.
coming home.
Yeah.
Unless you have a date night to watch the movie date night, which I 100% am in favor of. That might be my all-time favorite movie.
And like, do I want a meal with just Brooke? 100% I do. Does it
Yes.
currently fit in the rhythm? No. But is it a goal to fit it in the rhythm? Absolutely. And so like,
Yes.
I'm not.
But we're not putting off intentionally having a healthy marriage until we can get to that style
Right.
of date night.
Exactly. And so, and now like, because we have those emotional check-ins daily, if we do go on a date night, our date night conversations ends up probably being a little bit more richer and fuller. And honestly, like usually like more about like long-term vision, ideas,
Dreams.
passion, dreams, etc. And not just like, are you doing okay?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sort of. Are you doing okay?
Right. But I also want to eat my
Yeah.
food before it gets cold. So let's not talk about that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
that would be my date night kind of question. But I am going to stop this podcast and feel like, did I say anything worthwhile? So that's where I am right now.
That's me all the time, babe.
I know.
All the time.
But you show up and I'm very proud of you for showing up.
Do I though? Do I
You
show
do.
up? I don't remember.
Yes.
Just
You
kidding.
do a great job. We are a couple of things, a couple of just maintenance things. Christmas orders. If you haven't got your shipping notifications, some people aren't getting those shipping notifications. Emails can be super weird and like go to promotion folder or junk folder. But I've been checking people's orders for them, and some of them have already shipped. So we should finish out the rest. I'm hoping Monday.
Yeah.
I can't say that with any certainty because sometimes there's always things. As soon as those are 99% of those are shipped out, we're gonna launch the warehouse sale. And as soon as 99% of those are shipped out, we're gonna also start shipping the print orders. All the print prizes went though because I just ordered those on Amazon, so people have been getting them, which is super fun.
Yeah, my Target notifications are
like,
blowing up.
Your order, and I keep seeing and
your order arrived. I'm like, what are we? Oh,
and because of Amazon, I get to see a picture of everyone's porch.
That's right.
So the warehouse sale will be as soon as we can. You guys will have a 24-hour head start. Well, probably a little less because by the time you find it, you might have less time. We will be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, maybe doing some fun stuff there. So if you live in that area, just keep an eye on our stories. We're still going to do the Wheel of Destiny as well. So keep an eye on our lives for that. And then we're not sure. We definitely have one more podcast this year.
Yes.
But we're trying to figure out what we're going to do when it comes to traveling for 2.5 weeks, recording, etc. So just heads up. Heads up. 7-Up. Anything else, babe?
I don't think so.
I think that's it.
That was good. You did say things.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Appreciate it. We're going to do Wheel of Destiny now.
Live?
Yeah. And not on the podcast, but we're about to do it. So.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
I hit the wrong one.
Wrong one.
Okay, I love you. Bye.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for making us part of your week. We so appreciate it. And we just think you're really great. So I think that's it. Okay, I love you. Bye.